Hello, everyone. My name is Ressurrection Graves. I am the founder and CEO of Glory Soldiers Global and of Invincible Vision. And I want to talk to you about business integrity today. So, listen, I understand being a small business, I understand making mistakes when you first start out, but integrity is so important. Now, you're going to have clients, customers that do not treat you well. You're going to have clients and customers that really just are unable to be happy with what you come up with. I remember years ago when I owned a massage center, I had two situations out of thousands. But I had two situations that, I remember very clearly. One of the situations was that the woman kept scheduling an appointment and she would not show up. And so I was giving her grace and having her to come back and get the appointment without actually taking her money. And this happened several times until I was like, look, my time is important. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to, honor giving you an additional appointment. In fact, I'm going to need to actually take the money that covers this appointment because it had been several times. Now, my policy stated that I could take it on that first go round, but I was being lenient. Regardless, the woman was ridiculous, and I won't even get into or give her any kind of attention, but ridiculous, and I had to actually handle that situation in a way that I thought that I would never have to handle a massage client. So everything is all good, and it is well. It didn't get to the point where we actually had to go to court, but bottom line is that it was really ridiculous, and she began to threaten me and all of this over $100, and you didn't show up for several appointments. So that was one example of, just a client from hell from me. But there are many times where, as a business owner, you are not walking in integrity, and sometimes you're not doing that on purpose. It's merely that you don't know how to handle your business, and that's just the bottom line. In other cases, there are people who are scamming and who are really, really just not walking in integrity. So a quick example, last year I was on the Today Show, and prior to going to the Today Show, I wanted to make sure that glorysoldiersglobal.org was updated, was, a nice website, and so on and so forth. That website has not been changed. So just to prove what I'm talking about, you can go to the website now and check it out. And it's horrible. There are misspellings. It's not at all reflective of my type of design work or the type of work that I like to put out. But the person took the $600 that I paid him and ran off. He had given a scope of work. He had agreed to the work that I wanted done on the website. He was incompetent to perform it. So instead of just saying that and giving me the money back and letting me go find someone else who did have the competency in order to perform the work, he skipped, the work. Fortunately, I guess it's unfortunately, he left town. As a result, because he treated me badly, there were some repercussions behind that with the people that even referred him to me. So you want to have integrity because who you're connected to and who you're relating to does matter. So I'm sorry, I thought it was my husband coming in. So another example, I'm going to tell you another example that happened to me recently. And this was sparked by a situation that happened this morning. So Business-Minded Women is a Facebook group on Facebook. And I decided to get out and network. And I was actually going to take my executive assistant with me because I'm training her on how to network when I'm not present. So I'm, doing some training work with her. So we both show up to this restaurant. Now, it's an Eventbrite event. I'm looking at it now. And it says Business-Minded Women, BMW, Meet and Greet. And so it says that you have to pay $10 in order to reserve, your spot. Basically, you're paying $10 for your portion of gratuity for your spot, right? So I show up at this restaurant. It's like a 2 hour and 10 minute wait. I did show up late, but that shouldn't matter because I bought a ticket, right? Right. So show up at this restaurant, go in, 2 hour, 10 minute wait. The manager was called and took me right over to the group. It was 16 people there. I'm not going to lie, I did expect for there to be more people, but most of all, I expected for it to be a private environment or something that was conducive to meeting and greeting other business women. And so the woman, when I wanted to meet her, I said, hello, how are you? And I asked her about where we could sit. She said, well, you should have came earlier. And I said, okay, well, I bought a ticket, so is there a space available for me? And so she said, well, the waiter's going to take care of you, and there's another spot that's coming available soon. And not sitting with them, though. So basically, I just drove from one state to the other. It was about a 2 hour drive. And I just drove from one state to the other in order to meet them. And I couldn't even sit with them. And I was going to sit and have brunch or lunch or whatever with my executive assistant. How is that networking? So I did the professional thing. I left because I wasn't staying. And when I went to the front, I asked for the manager to go get her. She goes to get her, brings her back to the front. And I said to her, I just want to make sure that I'm able to get a refund. I did pay, $20 for my assistant and I to come. And since we've driven all this way and so on and so forth, and you're not able to accommodate us, I would like to make sure that we get a refund. And I said, how are you networking? Again, 2 hour and 10 minute wait. So the restaurant is packed out. I mean, even the table she was sitting at had people in the aisle. So the fire marshal would have shut the place down, right? Really great for Miss Shirley's, but it was a horrible presentation in terms of business, right? So I asked her, how are you guys networking? She said, well, you should have came earlier. You should have been here early. I told people to come early. Well, I'm not coming early on a Sunday to drive that far. I didn't see that it was worth that, but I paid for my seat, so I should have a seat. So she says, well, we just stood up in the middle of the restaurant and we introduced ourselves and we gave our 60-second pitch and we shared our businesses, and that's how we did it. I said, in front of all these people? Because if I was there eating with my husband and some business people just start standing up introducing themselves like I'm in a business meeting when I'm really having brunch with my husband, I would have been mad. So I said, okay, this is not the environment that I thought that, it would be. I thought you all had a private room and that's why we had to pay for it. But essentially, I just came to have lunch. And I paid gratuity for a meal that I'm not going to have. So I, again, asked for my refund, and she just looked at me like I was crazy and basically said something about networking. And I said, oh, I'm well versed in networking. And I said, thank you so much. And so we left. Waste of our time, completely blew our day. Thankfully, I did have a staff meeting with some of my interns and stuff later on, and we had coordinated it. And so it all worked out in terms of for me. But we were just a little blown at how that happened. So the bottom line is, here we are weeks later, I still haven't got my money back. So today, I log on Facebook, and there was a woman that was really upset because she signed a contract with a business person in a different group. And, I'm not going to say it's a different group because I actually don't know what group it was. I know the person's name, but I don't know what group the person was the admin for. But basically, it was another business group. And long story short, the woman got taken for her money. And she had given a $1,200 deposit for the person to create a website for her. So, I'm going to do a different video on, how you should be able to identify a website designer. And I'm going to give you all the tools, all the nuggets on how you can, determine how much you should be paying for a website and, so on and so forth. And so long story short, she's not getting her $1,200 back, and, she posted all this stuff. And she showed us proof. So clearly she was taken and she was scammed. And I am able to kind of verify that based on the information that I have. But, this brings me back to the point of all this. The point of all this is that I told her, because she posted it and saying, this is why don't do business with Black people and all this kind of ignorant stuff. And so my response was, this was not a Black problem. The guy that took my money and ran off was not Black. This is not a Black problem. This is an integrity issue. And so I also told her that she had to take some responsibility, because perhaps she's new in business. Perhaps, she just doesn't know about website design or so on and so forth, and that's fine, but ignorance can cost you. We've all been through that situation. So while the perpetrator in this situation had no integrity, the person that, could be considered the victim in this situation actually did not know what they were doing. They didn't know what they should have been asking for. They didn't know how to figure out whether this person was a legitimate website designer, right? And you're going to pay them $2,400. So there was some due diligence that, was on her part. But if she's a new business owner and really doesn't know much about that, I understand. So what about integrity? I just want you to know that your name does come up when you have no integrity. It comes up. So you have to think about whether you really want to be in business, or are you a scam artist? Because if not, you need some policies in place to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable for integrity. You should not be doing work that you are not competent to complete. Notice that in the beginning I said I can design a website, but when I talk to people about consulting with them, I let them know that I have to bring on a website developer. But I love design and marketing, and I'm amazing at it, and I'll tell you that. But I cannot code. So when you are talking to people, you need to make sure that you do your due diligence to make sure that they know what they're doing. But then, if you are the business owner who's taking, the money and doing this work, you need to make sure you're competent. And if you're not, somebody's going to tell on you. I could go on and on. I got a phone call recently about a situation. And everywhere I go, this one particular woman's name comes up. I don't care who I sit down to eat with. If I'm in D.C., this woman's name comes up. And it is so irritating to me. Not hating on her, but she has no integrity. None. I don't understand, but her name comes up, and most of these people are people who have not really had a big encounter with her, but I've been close enough to know that she has no integrity, and enough people have had complaints about her that I'm just like, why is this still a conversation? Just stop it. So, and I don't talk about her. It's nothing to talk about, but I don't even want to be brought up in the same topic as this particular person. And I feel very strongly about that. Having said that, my point is that it is so important for you to have integrity in your business. And I'm a straight shooter. There is a difference between personality and character. So you can not care for somebody's style in their business. Maybe I'm a little too direct. That's not going to change about me. But I am professional. I'm very loving. I will pray with you if you need prayer. I'm open. I'm not judgmental. And so there are many great qualities about me, but I am a straight shooter, and so someone who's connected to me kind of needs to know that up front. But I think you get that if you're on my Facebook page or wherever. My thing is, if you're walking and you're having no integrity, you may not hear about yourself, but other people hear about you. And so if you're trying to build a legitimate business, it might be the reason why you're still broke. Just something to think about. So with that being said, have integrity. And if you're buying a product or service, look for integrity. All right. Like I said, I could go on and on and on about all these different crazy stories, but these are just the ones that were kind of on my head right now. Have integrity. Be extraordinary.